So this is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 66, translation. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Purport. Unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter, 5.29, that when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all the good results of sacrifice and penance, that he is the proprietor of all universal manifestations, and that he is the real friend of all living entities, then only can one have real peace. Therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal, and when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna, in other words, one who is not engaged in the relationship with Krishna, is certainly always in distress and is without peace. However much he may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life, Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. Nasti buddhir ayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kuta sukham. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? So thank you very much for coming for our lunch class. My name is Akrura Das. I was born in Serbia, but I served here for 10 years until 2009. And I travel around the world giving classes and courses and playing spiritual music and doing personal sessions with people. And I have chosen this verse because in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is this verse is mentioned here, verse 29, Srila Prabhupada describes the peace formula. And the peace formula is also repeated here in the purport. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram sukhridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. So people sometimes come to Krishna consciousness to achieve peace, to practice meditation, to associate with peaceful people, to try to find the balance within themselves, or balance between different roles in life that they have. And then they may ask us, what is your peace formula? And our peace formula is very much connected to God in 3 ways. One is that He is the supreme enjoyer, one is that He is the supreme controller, and one is that He is the supreme friend. Now maybe you don't like the idea that God is the supreme controller. Maybe you don't like the idea that God is the supreme controller. Did I say controller first? Yeah. Okay, supreme enjoyer. But you might like the idea that God is the supreme friend. You might get interested that, what does that mean? How can He help me? I remember when I was here, then we had in this temple financial crisis. believe it or not. Or at least this was announced. So our former temple president, he used to say, now we have a system of answering the phone, ISKCON Soho or ISKCON London, how can I help you? But he said, actually, fantastic. The way we can answer the phone is, ISKCON London, how can you help us? Because we were in a crisis. And somehow all this crisis was resolved within maybe a month or two, something. We kind of tightened our belts and decreased the wages and started saving in different areas. You know how you do when you want to solve financial crisis. You have to look at all the areas where you can either save or make money. So when we listen to this verse, we can, if we look at our own interest, then how does it help me that God is the supreme enjoyer? Maybe it helps him, but not me. How does it help me that he is the supreme controller? Maybe it helps him, but not me. But the fact that he is the supreme friend, this may help me. So how is the God friend? Now there is this timeless question that conditioned souls ask is, how can loving God allow so much suffering in this world? So maybe you have an answer to this question. Some of you will try to answer it, or you ask the priests, and you ask Murli Manohar Prabhu, you ask the preachers, you ask visiting sannyasi, you ask the temple president, and you try to understand, how can a loving God allow so much suffering in this world? So this is a question where many people's faith breaks completely. They don't understand. And they give up on idea of God or religion because they cannot understand this point. So such questions need to be answered. We need to understand, is there any reasonable answer to that question? Is there something that makes sense? Now, when we ask, how can he allow something or do something, then we give responsibility to him. But the answer is not hidden in his responsibility. The answer is hidden in our responsibility. So he is not responsible for our suffering. We are responsible. Now this is very difficult to swallow. You can say, how can I be responsible? I don't know anything. I was born in ignorance. I have grown in ignorance. I am in ignorance. And I don't know. Now, when you come in contact with transcendental knowledge, which is mentioned here also, is mentioned as transcendental intelligence, you get in touch with information which, I don't know how much you have read of these books, but this information actually makes you responsible. This information makes you more responsible. The more you know, the more you are responsible. If you know that it is bad to step on ants, maybe you didn't know this, because this is insignificant creatures, I can step on them, no harm, nobody loses. But now you hear that if you step on ants, you will get reactions. In the next life, you will be stepped on. Then you think twice before you step on ants. You know ants? Yeah, or ants, I don't know how you pronounce it. So, if you understand that killing any kind of creature, even if it's a small insect, is actually sinful, then you think twice. One devotee once asked Srila Prabhupada, our teacher, he said, we heard that if somebody is an aggressor, we can kill him. And the mosquito is an aggressor, I will kill him. And Prabhupada said, you may kill him, but I will not kill him. Now there is a verse in the 5th canto which explains about killing insects. So if you read that verse, you will never kill any mosquito. So what to do with mosquitoes? Obviously they eat you up. You take a cup, plastic cup, or this is very nice for mosquitoes or for any insects, and you do like this. Don't kill it, but catch it. Put a piece of paper, throw it out. Then you say it, he comes back. So anyway, you can put a net that he cannot come back. So don't kill anybody. Now, some of you may say, well, I know that anyway, why you are saying this like very basic thing. Some people don't know, especially like details like this. So it's not only for those who know, it's for those who don't know, or those who know maybe they have forgotten. So when you get in touch with transcendental knowledge, your responsibility increases, and if you remember what you have done before you have found out that certain things shouldn't be done, you can see that you have done things that shouldn't be done. Like eating meat, or gambling, or intoxication, or illicit sex. All these things. So, and now you may say, well, why should I believe that? Who guarantees that this is true? You have a choice not to believe it. You have a choice not to believe that when you jump from the skyscraper, you will not be able to fly. But you will end up in a couple of seconds kissing the concrete. So you may say, I don't agree to believe that. So you may say, I don't agree to believe something that some people have written that it is a law of nature or this like that. Whether you believe it or not, it will have an effect. Whether you believe it or not, it will actually bring you some consequences. So these are very basic things that are teaching us about who is actually responsible for what we experience. And of course, we are speaking about suffering. So there is an arrangement together with this whole material nature that we learn some lessons, and that we learn what is to be done, what is not to be done, and then avoid what is not to be done and do what is to be done for our own benefit. For our own benefit. You have heard that parents sometimes are strict with kids, or even punish kids a little bit for their own good. So we have all heard this for our parents maybe, or for other people, that I have to be strict with you because you will burn your fingers, you will fall into a ditch. So this is actually what's happening here. The reason why we have to experience pain is to learn what is not right and what we shouldn't do to ourselves and to others. And it's simple, but it's not easy to understand. It's not easy to accept also for some people. So they rebel. They rebel against God. They rebel against the principle of religion. They rebel against any rules. And they think that this is okay. They think that I don't believe anyone. I cannot trust anyone. I can do what I feel is right. So sometimes you feel that it's right to kill someone. Sometimes you feel it's right to get intoxicated just to feel good. And you don't think about the consequences, and you don't know what are the consequences. Now, the saints and sages throughout the ages in all religions have been teaching certain principles of success. And this Bhagavad Gita is the huge success manual, and maybe you haven't viewed it like this, maybe you haven't read it with the idea to find success ideas for yourself and others, and to study it from that point of view. I recommend you to study it from that point of view. one success principle is explained here in this verse, 66, verse 66 of the chapter 2, and that is connection with the Supreme. Now today there are so many yoga schools, so many yoga societies and yoga classes and yoga teachers, but they don't always teach what is the essence of yoga. And the original knowledge of yoga is given in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 6th chapter, where it is explained at the end the purpose of yoga. And the purpose of yoga is to always be in Krishna consciousness or God consciousness, to be connected with God. So what happens if you are connected with the Supreme, as it's stated here? You get transcendental intelligence, you get peace. Without transcendental intelligence and, what says here, steady mind. Who has a steady mind here? Whose mind is fixed on the best of the best? We all have a mind which is called in Sanskrit Chanchala Himana Krishna Pramati Balavandrida, always flying here and there, everywhere. Now you're listening, some of you are listening very attentively, so let's focus. This is attention, quite focused attention. But in the next second, your mind may be at your home, maybe you have left the milk on the stove, or a child, a little bit bigger, but still it may harm herself or himself. And you are thinking of that. And the mind can fly. Okay, in this moment, my mind is in Australia. I have friends there, they invited me. I didn't make it yet, but I'm so curious. It just came, right now. And I'm thinking how they look, and I'm thinking about our last conversation, and I'm now coming back to you. So mind is so fast. Australia is so far away. So, chanchala means flickering. But here it is recommended to develop a steady mind. So steady mind means it's fixed on one thing, it can concentrate in the moment. So fixed on what? We want to fix the mind on something that is best or someone that is best. Whenever you have been in love, you wanted to fix your mind on the beloved person and think of them non-stop. You have their picture on your mobile phone, or it used to be in your purse. But now it's all on the mobile phone. So you take the photo and look at it and say, "This is my beloved. I wish I was with her or with him." And remember, in this way, you remember the beloved person. So you are very fixed. You're thinking about this person most of the time. And you feel something inside, attraction or affection, and so you are quite fixed. So when our mind is steady, actually, when our mind is fixed, I don't know what is your experience, but my mind is fixed when I like something. A simple example is, I'm sorry to mention this, it's maybe not fair, but simple example is when you get a plate of food. Then it's a very concentrated experience, at least for me. You look at this and you're not interested in other things. If you are hungry, you go to Govinda's and you get a plate. Then, how many of you visit Govinda's? Is there anybody who doesn't visit Govinda's? Raise your hand. Okay, so let's go to Govinda's, not now, but just in general. Let's go to Govinda's and observe people, especially when a person comes alone. How much they are fixed, how much they are absorbed in this beautiful Hare Krishna plate. It's not 100%, it's 108% or 150%. So mind can be steady when we are attracted to something. And now here we have we are getting a recommendation to be focused on the Supreme, and we are not attracted to the Supreme very much. Little bit we are attracted, but not too much. We are still attracted to some other things. But now Shastra says God is the best, He is the most beautiful, He is most everything. So why don't you look at Him and think of Him? And I don't know. I mean, in Oxford Street there is so many windows, shops, windows. And when I get a plate of wonderful food, I forget everything. I'm really, this is real meditation. Meditation on food. Okay, maybe you are absorbed when you watch YouTube or something. You just, okay, now I have for you something beautiful. This will help you so much, and I want to share it with you. You can test yourself with this. This is so fantastic. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. How many of you are ready to pay something for this secret? And how much? How much you? Because I mean, if you want the greatest secret, then I think you should be ready to pay something. It's fair. You don't have to pay to me. You can give it to Krishna. Because I don't think much, and Krishna is giving everything. So listen to this. What is it when you do the time stops? You tell me. Huh? When you do something, what is activity when you do it, time stops?
Sneeze.
Huh?
Sneezing.
Okay, this is 1 second. Let's speak about something where you can get absorbed 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
TV.
What?
Watching TV.
Watching TV, especially some very romantic movie, maybe? Or warrior movie, or which movie? So, time stops. You don't look at the watch, yes?
Something that you love to do, I guess.
Something you love to do, yes.
I play basket can I play basket all day?
Are you Italian?
Yeah, can I play basket all day?
Okay.
So my time is
Sometimes Italy is good in basket, but they also lose sometimes. So,
body, when you move.
so okay, so for you maybe playing basket, how many of you are playing music? So sometimes music we can, yes? Yes? Yes?
No, I said, if you like something, then time will go quick. And
Yes.
if you're sad
Yes.
something, then it stops. Time looks like it's not moving.
What did you say the last? What did you say?
If you're sad, something.
If you are in sorrow, time will pass very slowly.
bad time.
Sad.
Yeah,
If
if
you
you are
are
sad, you are in
bad
sorrow.
time.
You'll think that time is not passing out.
This
say,
time
for
is not
example.
moving.
Also, oh, okay, I didn't think of that.
You understand?
Yes, I didn't think of that. I was thinking about something pleasant. Right.
If you're pleasant, then time goes quick.
Time flies very fast.
Flies.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop.
Yes. What did you say? If you're pleasant?
See,
Present?
in case everything is very good with you, you are in comfort zone, right? And there's no worries to you. Time flies very fast, right?
Yeah.
You don't realize that time has passed.
Uh-huh.
But suppose you are in sorrow. Say, for example, you love someone very much, and suppose this person has gone away from you for 1 year. Say, for example, you will find extremely difficult to pass this 1 year. Actually, you will count every day actually, and the day will not pass.
So this is slow.
It will be slow.
Okay. Okay, so I believe you understand what I mean, that when the mind can be fixed, when time stops. That's a real example of when the mind is really steady and fixed, focused on one thing or one person. So actually this is something we are trying to do here. We are not trying to force you to accept some religion, and we're trying to help you to focus your mind 100%, but not on just anything, but on the best, not thing, but the person, on the best person, and that's God. And this is stated here as a means of becoming happy. So whether you believe it or not, you can try it by, for example, chanting the holy name. And to experience chanting, in the beginning you can get a lot of mercy and maybe even symptoms of ecstasy, but then after some time it becomes an austerity, and it's not easy to chant every single day 16 rounds or more than that. For some people even 4 rounds is a lot. But when the mind is steady and mind has an experience of the higher taste, paramdrishtva nivartate, then you can actually desire, you can't wait the morning, and you don't have to wait for the morning, you can chant right away wherever you are, even if it's afternoon or evening or any time. But morning is especially good for chanting. So these are some reflections about this verse, and thank you very much for listening. Do you have any questions? Or one question, we have a couple of minutes. I have to finish at 1:45, so we have 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Yes? Yes?
The first thing, Prabhuji, when you started, you said that, beloved God, when we blame Him that how He can give sufferings to us, it is a very common question from many of the people.
Yeah.
I feel in that way that, and according to the few books which I got through, that our karma, which we have done, our deeds,
Mm-hmm.
it is reflected back on us as a product. So that's why we are getting sufferings. It is not God. We are having the information from our childhood, what is good and what is bad. So it is our informed choice. That's why we are getting that. So it's not a question, it is my feelings that we are getting it back
Right.
as what we have done previously.
Right. So the point is that we are responsible actually for our suffering, not God. He is ready to help at any second. Yes? Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, but there is also Kali Yuga. You know, we go through periods of suffering don't we, in the universe, and we're actually just started in Kali Yuga. You know, we've been here sort of 500 years, and it will get worse and worse and worse. So we could all feel that things are speeding up and getting difficult and getting heavy and getting stressful and hard. That is the modes of nature. That is not our fault. That is to do with the modes of nature that God has made. So is that to contend with as well?
So it's not an accident that we are here. We have been born in Kali Yuga because of our karma. So ultimately we are responsible for our situation. The external circumstances are given there by the material nature, and she is controlled by God, but the whole thing is actually for us to learn something. What works, what doesn't work, what we should do, what we should not do, and especially not harming other living entities, like killing for eating, or any kind of killing in the womb, the abortion, intoxication. We are anyway intoxicated. Now if you take on top of this more intoxication, it's like double intoxication and other things. So it's not easy to understand this, that we are responsible. You know, the forces of nature are so powerful that we will say we are just helpless. We are just helpless. And somebody is controlling this. And we may think somebody is whimsical, but he's not. Everything is so precise. You get exactly what you deserve. But if you start the spiritual path, actually you get less than you deserve. It decreases all this school of hard knocks decreases. That's the mercy of the Lord. He wants to help us.
Prabhu,
Yeah.
don't you think, what we describe here in this world, what is wrong, what is right, it is more or less, it has come out from the societal norm over the period of time. It has evolved what we perceive right or wrong. But for example, in the eyes of God, we say killing is not good, right? So killing animals is not good. But at the same time, lion kills a deer to eat. God is for everyone, not only for human. God is for all living beings actually. Even for the trees, even for everything actually. God is one. Now, even for say for example some societal norms which we consider it's not good to do that, but if you go to some tribal islands where people are living, they are also human, they may be doing it at open actually. We can't say that it's wrong for them, because that's how their society has evolved actually. That's how we are educated, or we feel the society should be
So
behaving
what's your
that
point?
way.
What's your point?
So my point is, what we say right or wrong here, is it not that outcome of a evolution of a society? Then why do we say that it is right or it is wrong?
It is
Actually?
relative, not absolute.
Yeah.
What is right and wrong is not defined by us, but by the Creator. He defines what is right or wrong. So we try to follow that. Society has developed standards of what is right or wrong, but some of the rights may be wrong and some of the wrongs may be right. So we are learning from actually descending knowledge. We are getting the knowledge from higher sources, and then we try to follow that. But this, if you're a little bit sensible, everything will make sense. That is instructed to us from higher sources. It makes sense to be non-violent, and makes sense. Now, Jiva Jivasya Jivanam is a verse from the Bhagavatam which explains that one living entity eats the other. So always somebody is eating somebody else. This is the law of nature. And we don't like it, because originally we don't eat each other. In the spiritual world there is no eating of other people. This is where we belong. There is no eating of each other, it's just eating of food that is prepared, offered to Krishna, prepared with devotion.
But Prabhu, that we know now actually, right? How
Yeah.
the human race has evolved actually. See, earlier it was open how the human evolved actually. Earlier they were just killing each other or the animals that they were eating, because there were no crops actually, right? They don't know how to do that.
Right.
Now, because we know all this knowledge, now we are saying that yes, it should be done like this.
It's a questionable thing, that evolving of the society and the consciousness, because previously we find historical references that there was more civilized societies, there was more intelligent people, and they lived in a higher class way. So maybe the civilization died, then people started very low again. I don't know. I really never liked history so much, like mundane history. But we have evidences in the Bhagavatam that previous civilizations were super developed and people had very high consciousness, and also God consciousness was very high. So this is maybe a little bit of a social discussion. Yes?
I'm not going to go too deep because it is quite a bit of a social discussion. But in terms of seeing things, the people that are born in these places where it's normal to kill an animal, if we go, these are not places that are affected by the Western society. These are places that are natural tribes, indigenous tribes. They don't really eat meat. When you spend time and you see how they live, they don't actually eat meat. They might sacrifice one animal for one long period of time. But the difference is that we have been given a privilege, a blessing, to be born into a society based on our karma, where we can understand things, we can read books and understand different languages, we can understand different systems and ways of living. So it's a privilege that we've been born into this body, in this civilization, to understand that there's a big difference between how their consciousness has raised compared to ours. Not that we're any better, just different consciousnesses. A lot of people that are born into these places as well are born into that based on their karma, and they live like that based on their karma. So it's like, it's not down to wrong or right, it's just down to karma, and an individual karma. That's to do with that part. And like years and years ago, back in whenever we were talking about when it was a high class of civilization, people were meditating for years or months at a time. So they didn't need to eat during the candle drought. So they were in deep meditation. So for us to think that, oh, what about back then when they were living like this? They had a completely different way of living, and they were able to meditate for long periods of time. So they can take. So in that time of whenever there's no crop or whatever like that, they're able to actually not eat. You know?
Okay, I want to say something that actually before this class I was thinking I should give more time for discussion. So next time I give this new class, it will be, I'm not sure, a couple of days maybe, that we will have more time for discussion. I see that you are eager to also discuss different questions. I would like to take your question, but it's already 10 to 2.
Get to come back in a few days.
Yes.
Also, people have got to remember, I mean, I'm not preaching or anything, but in Indian medicine, if you eat food, you know, because I've studied it a bit, with the wrong emotion, like envy, greed, jealousy, hatred, whatever, your food will turn to poison. Even the purest food, moong dal, whatever, will turn to poison in your body.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you say, oh yes, well, I'm a vegetarian, you know, I mean, I was brought up vegetarian, but that's nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, even if people say, oh yes, I'm a vegetarian, but if they eat with the wrong attitude, that food's not going to be any good to them.
This is what we do.
And people don't seem to realise that. They think, oh, well, I'm a vegetarian. You know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It doesn't change your heart.
Right.
It's the intention.
I'm really sorry. We have.
I'm just saying.
Yes. We also do. Our attitude is that we're grateful to God for giving us food, prasadam, and prasadam is coming now, I think, and we offer it to Him first, and wait until He eats. We don't just offer and immediately eat. We wait for some time, between 5 and 20 minutes, I think, and our attitude is attitude of gratitude for the food we get every single day, every single meal.
But that's ideally, but not everyone is like that.
But that's why we are teaching. It's educational center. Okay, so thank you so much. Amazing. I mean, morning and evening class is not so attended, so you are great. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.